attaching these flowers to the earring size turtles. Put a little bit on the back of the flower and a little bit on the turtle. Not too much. You'll see in this video that I did do a little too much, and then I had to kind of clean it up a little bit. So once you get the Better Bond on the back of your flower and on your piece, you're just going to attach it and just push it down, give it a little bit of pressure so it can bond. And this one wasn't quite where I wanted it, so I used my needle tip tool to move it over a tad. And then I just pressed it so it would do exactly what it's supposed to do, bond. Same thing with this one, a little bit on the flower. And that's the beauty of the precision tip, because not a lot comes out, or a little bit more if you're doing something bigger. You can use the dropper. Same thing with this one. I'm just going to position it in the place where I want it and just push it down to hold until it bonds a little bit. All right. So now we are going to, so I'm going to show you how I set my gemstones. So I have a set of burrs. I did one size down lower. The lab created spinels are 2 millimeters. So my first hole is going to be with a 1 millimeter burr. I decided to use the hand drill because they're such tiny holes. You could use like a handheld to do it if it was a bigger piece. Maybe I chose not to. The 1 millimeter burr, I am going to burr all the way through to the other side. And I will say the clay was pretty hard, and I was just so afraid of putting too much pressure when I was doing the drilling, which is what happened, and I ended up breaking the turtle's head. And again, it's because the turtle wasn't flat. I'm just taking my brush here, and I am brushing out that hole so I can kind of see where we're at to get the clay powder out of it. So we're going to finish drilling it with the 1 millimeter burr. It's important to have, and as you can see, I went through the back. It's definitely important to have calipers on hand. I use them obviously for my gemstones, my cabs, my burrs. I use them a lot. So they're great to have on hand. And I have like 4 pairs of them. So although these calipers say 1.9, it's actually a 2.0 millimeter burr. And of course, in this one, I'm only going to go a little way down because I don't want that to go all the way through. So I'm just going to, and you'll see where I check it. I just want to go a little bit down because that is the size of my gemstone. And I just need to make sure that the clay is going to sit just over the top so that when that clay shrinks, it will hold that stone in. Once again, I'm just cleaning the powder out so I can get a good look at it. I'm going to, these are little, I forgot what they're called, but I love them. They don't work so great when they're wet, but I can kind of take a look at that now. I'm going to position it with my needle tool. Be careful with that because you can scratch it. You probably would most likely want to use a very tiny ball tool. So that fits in there perfectly. So I'm going to pop that out. I'll show you why. Take a little bit of Better Bond, and I'm going to put it into, not a lot, like I don't want to put a whole drop in there. I just want to take the tip of that silicone tool and, you know, just get that a little damp in there. And this is where this tool had a hard time picking up the stone because it got wet. The tool got wet. So I do end up using tweezers. Again, I could have edited all this out, but isn't this fun? You get to see all my mistakes. And once again, my nails are a problem. Yeah, I gave up. I went to the tweezers. Just drop your gemstone into the hole. And obviously you will need to position it in there properly. And I am using the needle tool to position it in there. But again, be careful with that unless you dull a tip that you can use. Because again, there's 3 tips in there. Dull a tip, to use for burnishing and not worry about scratching. So I went to the ball tool on this just to position it, make sure it was down deep enough. And really that's all there is to setting those stones. Works great for round stones for sure, the burrs.
All right, this is how I clean my gemstones. What you don't see, there's a little pile of alcohol, a little puddle of alcohol over here. I use my little clay shaper. I can't even see the alcohol. There it is. Dip it in the alcohol. Swipe the stone. Wipe it. I'm not used to working with 2mm stones. Wipe it. This little guy, he's all set. Same thing. Wipe it. Wipe it off. And wipe it. I am going to go back and just push them down.